what we really stand for. That's important. And that, I think, the basics that we need to really be clear on before moving, doing anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Just that's what bothers me all the time, because whatever we're doing for now. It's
Mm-hmm.
not what really we stand for. Because if you look at the great companies, it's clear. Like, Apple makes phones, but what they associated everybody that Apple is changing the world, despite it making phones. Nike, they celebrate athletes and athletic performances and pushing to the limits. That's what they stand for. That's what they're known for. Nike never talks about their shoes or why their shoes are better than Adidas shoes, But what they do, they really stand for pushing to the limits, going to the next levels, talking about all the amazing athletes, about all the amazing achievements. And that's how they're remembered by everybody and by their customers, because their shoes is just byproduct of Nike. The real product of Nike is that's what they do online and on TV and commercials, and that's celebrating achievements. That's the main product of them. And they just happen to make shoes. It's very possible that they could be doing something different, pizzas or whatever, but they still would stand for whatever they believe. So for us, it's really important, and it shouldn't be like this thing what we stand for and what we believe and what's our mission, what's our end goal. It's not necessarily, or even it shouldn't be connected to the product that we are selling, because once again, I do believe that Apple changing the world not by, they happen to make iPhones. It's very possible that these people could be making something completely different, but they still would be changing the world, because that's their mission. That's what they want. They want uniqueness. They want passion, right? Apple's known for passion. If you've seen Apple commercial before, they were talking about people that had passion, and those people change the world. And that's what they're doing. So to us, I think it's very important, not very important, it's critical to become clear among ourselves. And it's not something that can be told to us. I cannot tell you what's our mission. We kind of should, it should come to us. I do believe, but we need to be clear on it. We need to be clear. And that's what I still struggle with. And they think that once we get it, that's where you get different type of motivation every day, and you don't stop at any barriers and go to the next level, because you understand why you're doing that, right? And this goal should be huge, should be big. It shouldn't be increase sales by 20%. It should be a huge goal, and probably the one that we will never achieve. That's why, it's a goal.
I always see us as like solution provider because, and it doesn't attach to one product, which means there's nothing too small for us to handle, nothing too big, and there's no problem we cannot overcome. So for me, I see our goal, our mission is solution provider. And whether it's like...
let me share the screen.
I really think that. So and it doesn't attach, it's not attached to any product. So which means wherever we want to go, like route, we want to, any product we want to sell.
Do you know the golden circle of marketing? Or, let me just share the screen. That's a theory behind that, but it's really what makes sense to me.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's
like
yeah,
why, how, what? Yeah.
Why, how, what? So to me, and it's absolutely clear. To me, most of the companies, they know what they're doing, right? Mm-hmm. Most of the companies, and they can tell you what we're doing. We're selling materials, machinery, and spare parts. Everybody knows what they're doing. They're making pizza, they're making a refrigerator. That's what they're doing. How they're doing. We're selling machinery, materials, spare parts by having close relationships with factories in our area, by understanding their needs, by figuring out their problems, right? And that's how we're doing that. And only a very small amount of companies in the world, and those are great companies, who understand why they're doing it. So everybody, including us, know what they're doing. Most of the companies, including us, know how we're doing this. We figure it out. And the question is this little circle in the center, why we're doing it. And that's the real question for me that needs to be answered. It's we're doing it for years now, and we need to understand. To me, that's the missing piece. That unless we get into the root of it, why we're doing it, what the group of three here, why we getting together here, and pay attention. We want to get together. It's not really mandated, right? Everybody kind of wants to be on this call, on this meeting. So why? Is it why we're doing what we're doing? And this why should really go beyond, it should have the bigger reason. It should be something that how we can do it in the world at the end, maybe a little bit, but anybody will be better off. Somebody will be saved. Somebody will, whatever we are doing, how we are contributing to the better cause. And that when we can answer why, then we can, clearly understand what we stand for. And then we can work around that, because that's, you remember, I always keep telling everybody and myself that whatever we sell, it's our revenue stream for now. It's not future. We just happen to sell because the most important thing is people in our group. It's the experiences, the skills that we have. We just happen to meet when we were all in this industry. We just happen to sell spare parts and separators. But it could be a different product, and maybe it doesn't really matter which product. Why we're doing all that.
That's what I also wanted to mention, Anton. We need to differentiate when we ask this question, why. If you asked me 14, 15 years ago when I started, when I entered actually this battery business, I would answer in one way, and now I would answer because I have 15 years experience in battery business. I want to be here, and no one better than me can help our customers, better than you, than Marie, better than these people who have this years and years of experience here in industrial sales. So because no one will help people better than we do.
Maybe. So
because we know
now try to take it one step. So because we can help our customers the best, right? It's like this, yes, converting feature into the benefit. So what is the benefit? Think in turn what customers can do better. So in turn, what is the big result? Yes, we can help our customers best, but to do what? So our customers will have more money. So our customers will save more lives. Why we're doing that? That's converting, that's our features. And let's try to show clear benefit to the world, I don't know. And it shouldn't be something big as saving lives, but it should be something that makes a difference, because also because there's a big difference. We're best to help customers to get rich and so their CEO can buy a very beautiful house, or we are there to help customers the best, so customers can make more batteries for medical emergency rooms, and in third world countries, 20% children will die because they will have constant power, and but we need to make clear, first of all, for ourselves, and kind of put it together why we're doing it, put it in writing, put it that we can refer to it, and we can, because we cannot be clear, because I'm ashamed and I'm escaping this question. But if anybody who understands those things, he will ask me why. I will be kind of, and that's the question, that's the question. When I learned about the circle, that's when somebody tells me about their business, that's what I'm interested at. I'm interested why, not what and how. That everybody can figure out. But why, that shows me the real business, the real businessman, the person that will go very far in a life, in achievement, in getting better and better. And right, and it's just circle. I just show you circle because that's how I remembered it. It's very easy to remember that way. But it's true, because if you look at the great companies, on Nike, on Apple, on also great, on Coca-Cola, on whatever, they figured it out. They figured out why.
For example, what do they say why? What is the real example? I don't know why Coca-Cola, I don't know why Nike, I don't know why Apple. I know about them what and how, but I don't know why.
I think Coca-Cola, they are
most of the people, a lot of people associate Nike with achievements and pushing to the limits. And that's what they're doing, because that's what they're really talking about and celebrating. That's the thing. They want to be known as a company who takes athletes or performances, not necessarily athletic performances, performance to the next level, go over your limits, jumping over those barriers. And that's what they talk about. And that's why they're doing it. And yes, how they're doing it? They're doing it by having a lot of stores worldwide and a network and investing in marketing, and that's how they're doing. And what they're doing, they're selling shoes. Shoes is their what? How they're doing, that's how they do business, right? The network, how much they spend budget on advertising, on factories. That's how they do it. And the most important thing, why they do it.
Yeah, but it really, this strategy that you've just mentioned about Nike really correlates with our why. We want to bring our customers to the next level, their products to be the best in the world. So, it's like this question why, it's really intriguing, and I really find it pretty complicated and not many people ready to answer this one. It reminds me of the question, what's the sense of our lives? And every single person tries to find his or her own place in this world, to make something special, to leave their print and something like this. And it reminds me of
that question why is the question that I just believe that all companies and people who achieve something, maybe they figure it wrong, but they figure it out, and they go in that direction. Because I gave an example last time, I think, without why, you will come to some obstacle, to some barrier. Oh, that's hard. So you will turn around and go a different way. If you don't have this end goal, why you are doing, you will just, each time you will turn around. Oh, maybe I should do it differently. With this why, it's kind of, you should go there. If there's a barrier, you will find a way to jump over the barrier and go to that goal, not going different way and turning left or right from the goal. And that is very important. And I'm also looking, it's not all theoretical. I really look at the good companies. At least I don't know if it's truly the answer is why or that, but they are clear. If you will, I'm sure if you ask Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk, they can explain their why. They wouldn't have those conversations like we have now. They know where they want to go, right? Elon Musk, they want to put people out space. He wants to put them to the moon. He's not interested in the, you see, that thing. Elon Musk, he's not interested in electrical cars. And he never said he is. He never said. Electrical cars is just what and how for him. He wants to go to the space, outer space. He wants to be the first one to put people on the moon, that people will live, it's completely, it's so huge, but it doesn't matter, right now, at least he put people in space. 15 years ago, everybody was laughing at him because that was absolutely crazy. He was that it's not governments who will put people on the moon, but private companies. So he has a huge why, but he had it figured out. He knows what he's doing. And Tesla and all the batteries he's making, and it's not his why. It just he needs to make it, to make money, to generate money, to get income, to pay, all his 25,000 employees, and then he can send 2 people to the moon. But he needs to do all this to be able to do that.
The why is your purpose, our purpose, right? And I think sometimes we overthink our why. It should be something very simple, but it's something that we need to think really deep to understand the why, the purpose, because if not, as you said, when we encounter like problems, if we don't know our purpose, our why, we're gonna give up. So for instance, Coca-Cola, their why, it's simple. It's pleasure of life. That's their why. Like whatever commercial, infomercial you watch from Coca-Cola, it's always about they always associate their drink with pleasure. Whether it's Christmas, whether it's summer, it's pleasure, to provide people pleasure. That's their why. It's simple. And so for us, it's not a question we will be able to answer now because it's something that needs a lot of thought, because once we know our why, we're going to keep going. But for me, I think the why so far, even like that's thinking out, like just out loud. For me, our why is changing the ordinary of our customer to extraordinary. And the difference is the little extra we put in it. As you usually say, it's the little extra that other people don't put. Like that extra help us go overboard, go over, above and beyond for them.
I think that's exactly what we do, but that's how, because why it should be something related to the better cause or bigger than you or bigger than your customer. It should be something, bigger cause, better cause, bigger cause. I understand we cannot answer this question today, but it's something, and probably it's not even something that, you can put deadline on to get clear about, but it's something that we need to figure out and finally formulate and have this written down, because we need to understand why we're doing all this. I don't think all of us here on the same page. I don't think, and first of all, as Masha said, our goals and they change, right? Whatever you asked, today and 14 years ago, you get completely different answers. Sometimes it's even a year ago and today you get completely different answers. So those things change.
Your why might change over time, but the base will be there. But I really think your why can change. When you start something and you realize you want bigger, like the purpose you had, maybe become bigger and bigger and bigger. So
you see, it's the same thing that, when I say, I want to have at some point, I want to make a difference, right? And then again, the question, why do I want to make a difference? Is it because my ego? Or why do I want to make a difference? And this why is the most important. And for personal development and for our business, it's absolutely necessary to understand what we know, what we're doing. We kind of have a good idea about how to do it. And this question, why we're doing it, it's truly none of us can kind of clearly tell why we're doing what we're doing.
I just wanted to mention that this why it can change actually during the time and during our way. So it can be really different from time to time while we are approaching the biggest why, the main why of our company. And
Anton, I'm going to give you an example of the why. I'm going to tell you something which is outside of business and everything, so you can understand why it can change. But at the end, it's still going to be the base, but it's going to, the purpose will get bigger and bigger. Back then, when I was in my 50s, like my teen, I was always heavy. People cannot believe. When I tell you I was heavy, like I was size 18, I was heavy. After I gave birth to my son, I'm like, you know what? I have to lose the weight. So my purpose, my why was to lose the weight. So I started exercising and dieting and everything. That was my why. And over time, when I lost the weight and I think I became a size 2, at that time, it wasn't about losing the weight. My why changed because now I wanted to do it to be healthy. You understand? So the why changed when your purpose become bigger and bigger, because once you achieve what you wanted, now you have to look at it bigger. And then since then, I don't do diet or things like that. I see it as a healthy way of living, but it started as losing weight. You understand? So the why can change when your purpose become bigger and bigger. And once you achieve your why. So it's a good question, the why. And I think we can put a deadline on it, especially it's the beginning. It's the end of the year, we're starting a new year. That's when people sit and overthink about stuff. We can say, you know what, mid-January, we reconvene and we each share the why. So we can have something, because if we don't put a deadline, we can go and next year at this time, we're still thinking about the why. That doesn't mean in June it won't change. It can change, or in 2022 it can change, but at least we can work on it and say, you know what, a month from now, let's come back and talk about the why.
I agree with Marie, actually. And I believe that Elon Musk has his clear why, because there is nothing bigger than enter like outer space. So this is the why of his life. If you find something as big as he has, something, the biggest thing of our lives, then we will have like eternity to reach it. But during the way, we will have different whys and different goals to achieve and to overcome. So by now we need to choose our up-to-date why. So what is our today's why actually?
And slowly we'll get there. We'll get to our real why. But we have to build up to the why, because where we are now, right now in 2020, 5 years from now, we're going to have a different why. We're going to be in a different position and striving and better. So the why will change. But
that's maybe not true, because why actually I don't believe it changes, or at least I don't
changes
believe
until you find it, Anton.
It's how changes. Why, if you want to say a word or change a word, or that doesn't change. Changes how you do it, because you get different experiences and different failures, and you learn and you do it differently. But if you want to the better cause, I don't believe it changes. or it doesn't change so much, the better cause. The how we do it, that changes completely. Because today we made this big why. We may do it by supplying machinery to the factories, and in 5 years we may do it by completely in a different way, because us people can decide to do it differently, but the big cause, it's not going to change. We take a little different shape. It's not. I don't believe why it changes. I really don't. I think how we do it, that changes.
Anton, I'm 100% agree with you, but it relates only to that point of time when you really know your why. Until you are still looking for it and you don't clearly understand what is your why, during this time you are changing your whys. So once you find it, once you are sure it is, then it doesn't change. But to me, this question why is pretty complicated. It's something like why we are living, what's the purpose of our lives, and what's the sense of my life, where I wanted to be like at the end of my life, what I want to achieve. It's difficult to answer, and once you answer this,
it's difficult. But when you apply it to businesses actually they do have why, and
yes,
this why is easier to see. It's not a personal. It's not all this esoteric why that.
Yes, it is. But do you know your why?
It's not all this life after death thing that you.
Yeah, I'm not talking about life after death. I'm talking about our real life.
When you apply it to business, I think it's easier to find it because also it's not your personal anymore. It's a common why, right?
Yeah.
It's a different thing. It's a why that makes sense. That's why it cannot be too personal. That's why it's not really, it should be so common and so big that me, you, Marie, everybody can see this why, because it's completely different from personal. Your personal why is completely different. Your DNA completely different from Marie. It's impossible. If you think, trying to compare your personal why to business, you will never succeed. But business why, it's one big, that if you have 5,000 people in an organization, all these 5,000 really can relate to one why. 5,000 people. So that means it should be big. It should be that everybody agrees with, right? Everybody wants to save people's lives. Everybody wants to make world better. Everybody wants to make world greener, stop global warming, and save future generations.
Anton,
everybody wants to do those things.
Yeah, that sounds great, and I agree. But when you say there is 5,000 people in one company and they have common why, it means once new people arrive to the company, they already receive this why from the company. So this is the company's policy.
But this why,
yes, and it really differs from our situation. There are 3 of us now, and we don't have why. No one told us this is your why, so go and struggle for it. We are just trying to find it all together, all in 3. So we need to have this common why. Or maybe you already have this why, and we can just follow it.
I have a lot of whys, but that's the thing. We need to
not one.
What I'm struggling with is really put it to make it clear, because why is what I'm doing. Once again, I know what I'm doing. The problem that it's not just me, it's more than just me, it's a couple of us, right? And the why that we're doing, I need to put it that it will be also okay for you and for Marie and for everybody. Because if I tell you why I'm doing this, it's not necessarily it's good for you.
Let me show you something. There is a company where my husband was working, and he worked there for 10 years. They had about 5,000 employees, like a lot. And they had this all over, like this. That was their vision. You won't be able to, it's their vision statement. that has their why, that has everything. But they have it all over the company, in the corporate office, everywhere for people to see. And everybody who starts to join them, they had this, like they see it. When they were on training, they said, this is us. This is who we represent. This is
they adopted this.
Yes. So I guess that's something like that you're referring, Anton. Like we should have something where even if we have new people who join, not even, like when we'll have new people who join, they know what we stand for, our why. So everybody can have a common goal.
Yes, but that's exactly, but that's kind of, I'm less worried about new people and how to explain them and if they see it or not. I'm more worried if we ourselves, we can truly understand why we're doing whatever we're doing.
Yeah, we understand this, but the question is if you have this why to share it with us, or if we all three are trying to find it from the very beginning.
Right now, we're trying to find it. Listen, if I would have it, done, finalized, clear, I would just tell everybody that's why, and let's do it. That's the thing. What's clear to me that we don't really have why, or we cannot explain what's our why in an intelligent manner, right? And that's clear to me.
Telling the truth, Anton, I believe that sometimes for bigger companies that you've already mentioned today, this why it's the part of like marketing strategy. And when they have like some certain product, they try to, first they have a product and they make this marketing strategy and they invent the final why to bring it to the market.
It's partly true, but it's partly true. But those big companies, they used to be small at some point.
Yes, and they used to change this wise during.
You see, like good example of Facebook, right? Zuckerberg. He wanted to connect people. It's very simple why. You don't need a mission statement. You don't need. He wanted to find a way to connect people, that he saw that people should be connected. People should be together, should be connected. And that's how he started. He had a very simple why, connecting people. Now he did it because he made it a platform, and, he made sure that, there will be a million people that sign up platforms, and he worked on algorithm. That's how he did it. But he had a very clear why. Connecting people together. You see how
it really relates to what we want to do.
But you see how strong it is, how clear it is, connecting people together. That's such a beautiful thing. That answers, and then around this why, when everybody clear, then everything finally becomes very clear and simple for us, right? If it would be our thing connecting people together, then you clearly understand what is your advertisement, what is your marketing, what is your, when you want to send card to your customer on Christmas, what is your message to the customer? Then it becomes clear.
But you know what, Anton, what you said is true, because Facebook, the why is always simple. It's just thinking about it, what we really want. But like Facebook is connecting.
What we really want, why we're doing it, because but it's also very important to put it in this absolutely clear that everybody from us, from our organization, we have absolutely clear idea. We're here, like Facebook is clear to me what he's doing, or companies like him is clear. They're doing why they want to connect people together. They see huge, they doing better for a better cause, for people getting together. Right?
So Facebook is connecting people. Coca-Cola is pleasure. So the why, now that I'm thinking deeper about it, if each one of us put our why together, it's going to interact, as Masha was saying, with personal, at the point, because if each one of us, at the end of the day, the only thing I can really suggest, it's you have to think about the why, because as we joined, Masha and I, we became committed, invested in it, and now we don't see it as like we join, we feel like we are part of it. But if we have to take for the why, each one of us will have something personal, like.
Perfect. That's why we put it together. It should be, we should talk about it. It should come together as a company why, from our personal whys.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't believe it's the right thing here to dictate. Yes, to the people who will join, new people who will join. Yes, because when why is already established, you cannot ask every new person. But when it's not established yet, then I think it's very important that people who've been from the beginning, they all together will come up with why. And it shouldn't be, once again, it's our why. It shouldn't be completely, it just should be clear.